Hey yarn friends, welcome back to LlamaMamaKayla's Yarn Tube. So today I'm working on a doll dress that fits the 18-inch dolls or the American Girl dolls or any dolls around that size. And I'm going to be using I love this yarn metallic white, and I love this yarn metallic red. The red does show up really good on the camera and the white not so much, but it is metallic. Okay, and I'm using my 24 peg loom. So to get started, we are going to make a slip knot, leave a little bit of a tail, and place your slip knot on peg 1. Alright, and we're going to ewrap all the way around. Okay, we're to the last peg, so we're going to come over to the first peg, and I'm going to pull some of my yarn out here. And we are just going to start purling right there. So this row is going to be a purl. And if you need slower video on any of the stitches, I do have those videos on my channel. Feel free to look those up and watch those videos if you need more help. Okay, now we're ready for the next row, and we're going to ewrap. And I'm going to chase my ewraps with pearls. And throw over a few more of my ewraps. And chase those with my pearls. All right, I'm going to push all those loops down. Okay, and now I'm going to mark these 2 pegs on this side and these 2 pegs on this side. And we will okay, so from peg number 1, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to mark that peg. Number 6 and number 7. Okay, and the same thing on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, now we're going to ewrap up to peg 5. So ewrap. Okay, and then for peg 6 and 7, we're going to cast off. So I'm going to ewrap peg number 6, yarn over, and then I'm going to ewrap peg number 7 and yarn over. Take number 7's loop and put it on number 6 loop. Kind of tighten it up. Yarn over, and then take number 6 and put it on number 7. And then we're going to ewrap peg 8, yarn over, take the loop on peg 8 and place it over here on peg 7. Tighten up your yarn. Yarn over, and then take the loop on peg 7 and place it on peg 8. And tighten up your yarn. And then we're going to continue to ewrap. We don't ewrap number 8 again. We've already dealt with that one. So just move on and ewrap up until you get to your stitches over here. Go ahead and ewrap them. Yarn over and yarn over. We're going to do the same thing we did on the other side. Okay, and then continue to ewrap. And then go back and just throw all your ewraps over. Okay, the 2 spaces we made on each side, that's going to be armholes. So the next row is purl. So we're going to purl these first few pegs. Alright, so now we're at our gaps here, so we're going to ewrap both of those and then continue to purl until you get to the next armhole. Okay, we're to that armhole, so we're going to ewrap and then continue to purl. We're almost to the end of this row. Alright, so you can see that created an armhole there. Now this next row is ewrap, so we just push our stitches down on the pegs and we're going to ewrap the whole row and go ahead and give that a little tug to tighten up your stitches there at the very beginning, but then just loosely ewrap the rest. Okay. Now just yarn over all of your ewraps. Okay, we can remove these stitch markers now. Okay, so you can see we do have the arm gap there. And so now we're going to purl the next row. Okay, I finished that row of purls, and you can see I just have a little bit on the loom there under the armhole. So what we're going to do next is we're going to do 4 sets of ewrap purl. That's 1 set. Then ewrap purl. That's 2 sets. Ewrap purl 3 sets. Ewrap purl. That'll be 4 sets. So do 4 sets of ewrap and purl, and then we'll meet back up. Okay, after you complete those 4 sets of ewrap purl, the next row is going to be an ewrap. Pull your yarn tight and then ewrap all the way around. Okay, then yarn over. Okay, now we're going to change colors. So we're going to snip this white, leave a tail so you can tie into your next color. All right, so now I'm going to get my red. Yarn. Okay, and again I'm using 2 strands. Okay, and we'll tie on by laying the red down and with the white across the red. And then I'm going to tie my reds together around the white and then hold the white. And I'm going to pull my red down close to the peg and then make sure my red is still tight. And then tie my red and white together. And I'm going to tie that knot twice. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and snip that. Okay, now we're going to do a ewrap row of red. So start on peg 1 and just wrap all the way around. So now we're going to continue to ewrap until we have 20 rows for the skirt section. So we have 1, and I'm working on row 2. So continue to ewrap and yarn over and do another row until you reach 20 rows. And I will meet you back here. Okay, we are back and we have finished our 20 rows of ewrap. So this is the way the dress is looking up. This is the armholes, so that'll be the top of the dress. Okay, there's 2 different ways that we can finish off this dress. One, you just did an ewrap, So you could continue with your 2 strands and do a purl row and then do 2 more sets to be 3 in total of the ewrap and purl. So you could do you did an ewrap, so you could do a purl, then ewrap, and then purl, ewrap, and purl, and then do the bind off that I'm going to show. Or you can bind off here and do a simple little technique with a crochet hook and double crochet to make it a super big ruffle at the bottom of the dress. I am going to make the ruffle. If you want to not make the ruffle and end here and just have the straight dress, then continue with your 2 strands, purl, and then ewrap, purl, ewrap, purl, ewrap, purl. So it'd be 3 sets of the ewrap, purl. Okay, and you can, watch the whole video before you decide which method you're going to do. But I am going to bind off here. So what I'm going to do is wrap. I'm going to do a flat bind off. So I'm going to wrap this loom about 3 times to get enough yarn, and I'm going over 3 times. And I'm just going to cut my yarn, and I do have, way too much yarn there, but that's okay. I'd rather have too much than not enough. But this flat bind off does use a good bit of yarn. Okay, so I have my yarn right here in the middle coming through. What I'm going to do is lay it across peg 1, go to peg 2, scoop down and bring that yarn up through that stitch and pull it through. This is called the flat bind off, and I do have a video on my channel showing us, slow motion of having to do this. And then I lay it back over the first peg above my yarn, reach up, grab that yarn, and bring it down. And I'm going to pull that through. This yarn has that metallic in it, so you can see it kind of is tearing the metallic a little bit. Okay, so then I'm going to work the 3rd and the 2nd peg now. So I lay my yarn over the 2nd peg. I go to the 3rd peg, reach down in there, grab my yarn and pull it up. Okay, then I go back to the 2nd peg and lay it above the yarn, and I go from the bottom and pull it down. Okay, and so I'm going to continue to do that all the way around. I'll show you a few more pegs. I'm almost to the end, so I wanted to show you what I'm going to do there. So I'll lay my yarn over the next to the last peg, come to the last peg and scoop it up, and then lay it back over the next to the last peg and pull it down. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and lay it over the last peg and go back to the first peg and scoop it up through there. And then come back to the last peg, go up and pull it down. And then I'm going to go one more peg over just because I want to really secure that first peg. scoop it up on the second peg and go back to the first peg and scoop it down. Now all the pegs are secure. And I don't think there's any problem with popping it off the loom. So we're going to pop all our stitches off of the pegs. Okay, so if you chose to do the 3 sets of ewrap purl and then the bind off, you are done. And you could weave in this end and your bottom tail, and your doll is ready to wear her dress. If you chose to do the ruffle, as I'm going to do, then we are about to start that. Okay, so I'm going to trim off my tail because it's just way too long. But I'm going to leave enough that I can tie it later. I'm going to get my yarn. I'm starting a new skein because I was running out of that one that was on here. Okay, so I'm going to double crochet a ruffle around, and I might do 2 rounds. And I'm going to do double crochet in each stitch. I'm going to do it 3 times. So what I'm going to do is find my yarn. Wherever this is, I'm going to pull my yarn up through there. Find that stitch and pull my yarn up through here. Okay. Then I'm going to, that tail's right there, just kind of hold that down. And I'm going to chain 2. Okay. Now I'm going to double crochet in the next stitch, which is this one right here. I'm going to put my hook through the hole, grab the yarn. Wait, let me start that again. Okay, so I went ahead, I yarn over, and I'm holding this yarn to the back. Put my hook through that stitch, grab the yarn, and pull it through. So I have 3 stitches on my hook. And then I yarn over, and I'm going to pull that through 2 stitches, yarn over, and pull that through 2 stitches. That is a double crochet. I'm going to do this 3 times in that 1 stitch down here. So I yarn over. Notice how I'm holding my yarn to the back here. Reach in, grab that yarn, and pull it through. That creates 3 stitches there. Yarn over, pull it through 2, yarn over, pull it through 2. Okay, I'm going to do it one more time in this stitch. Yarn over, I lost my loop. Okay, yarn over, place that into the stitch, reach in and grab that yarn, pull it through. It leaves you with 3 stitches here. Pull it through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so that's 3 stitches in that 1. So I'm going to do that in every stitch all the way around. I'm going to do this 3 times. Okay, that was 1 time. This will be the 3rd time. Okay, so now I'm going to move to the next hole. Put my yarn in and see how I'm going under both strands of yarn there. Pull my yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. This will create a beautiful ruffle at the bottom of the dress, which I think could give it that fancy look that I'm kind of going for here. Now I'm just going to go to the next stitch. Okay, this will be my 3rd time in this loop here. 1, 2, maybe that was 2nd. And if you do happen to do more than 3, like you do 4, it's just going to make it that much curlier. So alright, and so I'm just going to continue all the way around, going in the next stitch loop there, and doing this 3 times in each loop. Alright, and I'll meet you back up when we get to the end. Okay, I'm almost to the end of this row, so I wanted to come back and show you what I'm going to do. I got a couple more here. Okay, I think there's one more. Okay, there's one more stitch here that I need to put 3 double crochets into. Now I am, a loom knitter. I did learn some basic crochet stitches, and if you'll take the time to learn a few basic crochet stitches, you can add borders and ruffles and things like that to your loom knit projects. Okay, so I'm at the end, and so what I need to do is connect this side to this side. And so remember I did that chain 2, and then there was a stitch. So I'm going to skip the chain 2, count 1, 2 up, and go in that stitch there. And I am going through both threads there, both stitches. Well, both sides of the stitch. And I'm going to grab that yarn and bring it through, and then bring it through here, and that's called slip stitching it together. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of pull my yarn up through there a little bit and look at this. Okay, so that creates a little ruffle at the bottom of the dress, but I want it to be more than just this. So I'm going to go around again and do double crochets 3 times in each. Tighten that back up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is chain 2. Alright, and then I'm going to go in this next stitch here. You can see there's a little bitty hole right there, and that's going in through both of those strands of yarn. So what I'm going to do is yarn over, go in through that stitch, grab my yarn and pull it through, then yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And I'm going to do that 3 times in that one stitch. Okay, this is the 3rd time. Alright, so I'm going to yarn over, go to the next stitch, put my hook through, grab the yarn, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And I need to do that 3 times in that one stitch. Okay, so I'm going to continue doing that all the way around, and I'll come back when I get almost to the end. Okay, I'm back to the end of that 2nd round again. I have one more stitch here to go in, so I'm going to double crochet into that stitch 3 times. Okay, I think this will be my 3rd time. Okay, now I'm going to slip stitch to join these 2 rounds. So we're going to count these chains that I made, 1, 2. We're going to pick this first stitch that's actually not in that chain. So 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to go in. Notice I did not yarn over. I'm just going to go in under that stitch, grab the yarn and bring it through, and then bring it through this stitch. And actually, I'm just going to clip my yarn and pull it through, and then this will be weaved in. But that is the ruffle that I was going for at the bottom of the dress. So now I just need to weave in tails up here and down here on the bottom. I'm just going to thread my needle, take these to the inside, tie them off and weave them in, and clip the tails, and your dress will be done. Okay, here you can see the dress on my doll, and you can see that it turned out to be a beautiful ruffle around the bottom of the dress, and it goes all the way around, so it's very pretty, festive, and looks like a nice party dress for Valentine's Day. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy making doll dresses, and I will have some different styles of doll dresses coming in the future.